What's up, everybody? Welcome to Claiming Christianity. Today we're going to be taking a look at this. This is the NKJV Compact Reference Bible. And yes, it has a zipper. I'm super excited to share this Bible with you. So without further ado, let's jump over to the table. Okay, so let's take a look at this. You guys know I love my zippers. This is the Compact Reference Bible, NKJV, of course, put out by Thomas Nelson. This is in black leather soft with zipper. That's right. And you can see here a couple of the little features that it has in the back. The words of Christ are in red. We'll take a look at that. Gilded page edges. And let's see if we can find that ISBN for you. And it says that it retails for $49.99. I say this very often. That's not the price you're going to pay, chances are. Because between christianbook.com and amazon.com, you're going to find it for a little bit less expensive than that at various times throughout the year. But either way, that's actually a pretty good price for a nice leather soft Bible with a zipper. So let's take a look at the outside here. And you see, again, because of the nature of the cover, it's going to be slightly different than normal covers. But it has a nice little cross imprinted. I like that. With Holy Bible there. New King James Version, NKJV logo from Thomas Nelson. And these are like, the cover actually, you can see, well, you might not be able to see it that great in the video, but they're like stamped in. So all this little tooling here on the leather is stamped in, and let's unzip it. So this is on the smaller side. Before we really get into it here, let me just measure it. Since this is a smaller Bible, you're looking at about 7 to 7.5 inches, depending on if it, you compress it there, to just about 5 inches. And it's really only about an inch thick. So this is really, truly a compact Bible. And it's a great tool. There's a right tool for every job, right? If you're going camping, if you travel a lot, whatever the case may be, is you want something to throw in a backpack. The pages aren't going to get all kind of messed up here. The gilting on the edges. And this will do it for you. Keep a few note cards in there and then zip it up. Throw it in your bag, and it's nice and compact. And, when you're traveling, whatever the case may be, is in your purse. Maybe for your kid, this might be perfect. Keep a pen in there. But you see there's a presentation page. I always like to advise to fill out the presentation page. You never know who's going to have this Bible in the future. Even write a little bit about your family on the back. I have a couple of Bibles that I do that in. I don't do it in every Bible that I use, but I have a couple of family Bibles that hopefully will get passed down, because I have a couple of Bibles from my family members that I wish had more written in them. So as we get going here, I'm still kind of playing around with the lighting. So I'd like to hear from you guys. If it's too bright, if it's too dark, be bold to give me some constructive criticism, and I'm going to keep trying to work with it here. But here is some of the legal information if you're interested in that. And then a real simple table of contents. Okay, so on reference Bibles, the table of contents it's important because it's the 66 books of the canon, but that's all it is. This Bible is limited in what it includes. There are some really nice maps in the back we'll take a look at, in a small concordance, but that's basically it. So you get a list of the 66 books of the canon. I say that in contrast to, say, a study Bible where there's a bunch of extra articles you might want to know where they are. So the preface is not exactly a preface to the Bible. This is a preface to the New King James Version. This is a very short one, so real easy and quick to read through. It just tells you a little bit about how they translated the NKJV. And then we get right into the text here, right? So as you can see, as we flip around here, this is dual column paragraph format. That means it's written similar to a book, with the exception that it's dual column. That would be in contrast to verse by verse. I like to mention that because when I was growing up and first getting into Bibles, I didn't even know really you could get a verse by verse. And that in reality is my favorite. My favorite, if I have a choice, now I choose verse by verse. But the paragraph format has come a long way because they don't try to squish too many words into the pages. So unfortunately, sometimes they can squish a whole lot in there and it makes it kind of hard to read, but that's not the case anymore. And most of these Bibles are line matched. As you can see here with the page down, it's really even hard to see the ghosting. Some of that doesn't come through on the video so much, but in these blank spots, you can see it. The line on the back of the page on this side matches up exactly with the line on this side. And actually, despite the fact that this paper is on the thinner side, let's flip open to Isaiah or Jeremiah here. It's the ghosting is really not bad. This is very easy to read. This is a 7-point font. Okay, so you guys know that I say graduated. I have graduated to about a 10.5-point font. That's the size that is pleasurable for me to read. But this font, even though it's 7 and it's kind of small, is really not bad. It really isn't. I can read it. I'm at arm's length here, which for me is about 3 feet. And I can read it just fine sitting on the table here. So that might be an issue for you. The 6 gets a little bit small for me. I like to open up to the Isaiah or Jeremiah section here just so you can see the poetry. Poetry most often is slightly different. Not in every Bible. I do have a few that it's not different, but the poetry setting is a little bit different than the non-poetry setting, and sometimes I feel like people like to see those right next to each other. Poetry, since we're going through this and talking about it, is always verse by verse. No, I shouldn't say that. Not always, but almost most of the time, because of the nature of poetry, is verse by verse. You can see here as I lower the Bible back down that the reference suite here is on the bottom. So there are a decent amount of cross references. And so you can use those if you use cross references a lot. It's even if this Bible is an on-the-go Bible for you, you can get into your Bible studies, jumping from place to place. And if you don't know what cross references are, let me know down in the comments. Be bold and ask, and maybe I'll make a video about it. So let's jump into Matthew here. Actually, I don't have to go to Matthew 5. I usually go to Matthew 5 because it's a big old section of red letters. But even I can see here, these letters are red. And what I mean is sometimes Bibles make them like burgundy, right? I have some Bibles where the red letter are burgundy. In the last video, I asked what your preference was on red letter versus black letter text, because there are people that feel very passionate either way. It doesn't really bother me in one way or another. But if the red, because I'm colorblind, isn't real, if it's more burgundy and dark, I do struggle. I have a hard time. I can't tell that it's red. Sometimes it kind of messes my eyes up. So I like to point out that this red letter is red letter, and it stands out to me just perfectly here. And it's nice that the chapter numbers are emboldened. I like when they embolden, and these are pretty small, but I think they are just slightly bold. You tell me what you see in there through the camera. The verse numbers, when the verse numbers are just a little bit bolder, these ones might not be, but it just helps things to stand out. It's nice when the chapter numbers are like that. So being that this is a compact Bible, there's not a ton in here. That's what keeps it nice and small and able to be kind of transported easily. But you do get a table of weights and measures. You always get a table of weights and measures in a Bible, because weights and measures today are not the same as the weights and measures in the past. And then you do get a small concordance. This is a real basic concordance with probably just the most popular words that get looked up, and it gives you a few references to help you understand what the word means, and to show you where it's used throughout Scripture. So this is like a dictionary concordance. It does a little bit of both, which is really nice. I prefer more of the dictionary than the concordance in a Bible. But for those of you who watch my reviews, you know that I use an exhaustive concordance, which has it's huge. You can't carry it around with you. I rarely am using a concordance in a out-on-the-go type of a setting. That's just me personally. So I like that it has a dictionary. I get more use out of the dictionary. And then there's a few small maps in the back here. Now, despite the size of the maps, they've started using colors that are very pleasant, at least to me. I know I just told you I'm colorblind, but because of the colors they've used, I can see all the differences. Not only that, but the words of the towns are kind of bold. So they make it very easy they stand out, and I can actually read this map. Even though this is a little bit shiny and the lights are going to shine off it a little bit, In the past, I have some Bibles that the cardstock was really glossy and you wouldn't even be able to see it right now because the lights would be shining so brightly. So they've done a nice job, in my opinion, making this more of a matte format cardstock in the back. And that's basically it. You get like one page, and this is just where the cover is here. You get one page too if you wanted to write some extra notes in. But that's it. This is a quick full review because there's not tons and tons in here. But the New King James Version, if that's the translation of your choice and you need a Bible to stick in your car, I always like to, here at Claiming Christianity, we're about being the Christians we claim to be, right? And it's always good to have a Bible with you. Yes, we carry them around on our phones, and that's fantastic. But you know what? These are so inexpensive. Stick one or two of them in your car. If you need one to give away, this might be a good one for you. Or if you camp or you backpack, you hike, you go out in the world, you go to a job where you're in an office, you can stick this little compact Bible with a zipper in a briefcase, and it'll just sit there, you know, and it'll be there ready for you to be used, but it still is a very nice to read. I've said this in the past, the NKJV Comfort Print is my favorite. It's put out by 2K Denmark, and just something about it is really nice on my eyes. It's really easy for me to read. Hey, if there's anything that I haven't covered in this video, a question that you might have on this Bible that I missed, let me know and I'll do my best to answer it with the information that I have. Hey, thank you all so much for hanging in there and watching this video. I hope that it's been a value to you and that I've earned the privilege of your time. I really do appreciate being able to review these Bibles and show them to you, because you unfortunately can't just walk into a Bible bookstore in most places these days and check these Bibles out. I want to say big thanks to Thomas Nelson for sending this Bible to me so I can show it to you and show you what tools and resources are out there to help make your day-to-day better and more Christ-focused. Don't forget, be the Christians you claim to be.